So I hope every week when you come in and you listen to the show that, number one, you feel my passion. If you don't, there's something wrong with you. And also that the show, I really am passionate about changing your perspective, and I am starting a movement and I'm on a mission to change the word sales from meaning something icky, sleazy, and pushy to something that comes from a place of love and care and respect. The big word for me is always respect. And as my guests and I give you tips, strategies, and ideas, my hope is that you take them, you implement them immediately, and that's how we move the needle and end up getting results. So for me, I hope that we can impact and inspire you to build those really dynamic client conversations, those relationships, scale your business, ultimately grow your income, and of course, create the life that you desired. Now, if you're loving the show, which I really hope you are, and you're loving me, of course, please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, however you watch. Rate, review, subscribe, download, and share with your peeps. I will feel the love. I read your comments, and I really hope that you stay connected. So you matter to me. The show is all about you, and I hope you stay in touch. So my quote for today, of course, I have to start with my motivational quote. It's actually my quote. Her name is Chella Diaz. And the quote says, "When you take inspired action and lead with your heart, the universe will support you." Now, here we're going to talk about money today. One of my favorite conversations. What is your relationship with money? Are you thinking, "Oh, Connie, I love money. I love spending money, and money is a great thing"? Or are some of you thinking, "Well, that's a very good question. I feel like I never have enough money, and no matter how hard I work, money seems to be something that is hard for me to hold on to." No matter the side of the coin that you're falling with those questions, of course, you know, I have a guest today that's going to answer them and share how we all have money issues. Yes, we do. And how to now dig in and change our relationship with money. So I'm glad you asked, Connie, how do we deal with money? My wonderful guest today is Chella Diaz, and she's going to help us peel back our onion and peek into our beliefs about money. Now, Chella knew at a really young age that she was different from all the other kids. She was able to see and feel things other kids couldn't. She didn't want to stand out, so what did she do? She suppressed and put all her gifts to sleep. For over 15 years, Chella has been on her spiritual journey, and the list of certifications and programs that she completed is just very very extensive. But it includes, and I'm going to just name a few: Reiki Master, Reiki Teacher, Starlight Energy, and her most recent, which brought all of her certifications together, is a powerful way, ninth dimensional healing energy. So please help me welcome my amazing, fun, lovely, awesome Chella to the show. So Chella, thanks for being on.
Oh my God, it's an honor to be here. I'm going to take you with me everywhere I go.
You know, I just did another show with another woman entrepreneur. We were giggling. You know, you read your credentials, and when I go on podcasts and they read my credentials, I think, who are they talking about? We don't realize what it sounds like, because you don't walk around saying your bio out loud right when you're home or when you're working. We're just working. We're being us. So I know I love it. It's nice to shine a light and support and tell people how wonderful they are, and that gives me the podcast gives me an opportunity to do that, to share beautiful people like you to the world. So yeah, go ahead. You were going to say something.
Honor. No, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, and so guys, Chella and I, we could talk and talk and talk. So hopefully you enjoy us, because we have this great energy. We have a ton of fun whenever we get on, and we hopefully will share some amazing tips and strategies that you can implement today. And of course, we share stories and all those other things so that it resonates with you. Now, first question, Chella, why is the morning routine so important?
Because it sets the tone for the day. It really, really does. We've all been there, right? What happens in those days where, for whatever reason, no blame, no shame here, you run late? It's a domino effect, right? From there, you just like, oh my God, everything is going. When you're running late, every light, it turns red, right?
100%.
So setting the morning, to me, is just setting the tone for the day. It's just getting yourself right. You look at the to-do list, you look what you have ahead, but also it gives you gives you time to put in maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes of self-care, whatever that may look like, right? A couple of breaths, a cup of tea, whatever that is, right? That little break in between all those so that you're not constantly running.
Yeah.
Now, do I sometimes not leave room for that? Yes, absolutely. But for the most part, right? For the most part, allowing yourself some time for yourself. And when you do that, by setting the tone in the morning, it makes the rest of the day go so much better. It's just smooth.
Yeah, and it's a mindset. When you start feeling calm, accomplishing something, like, I don't remember who it was, a famous person, he said he makes his bed every morning because that sets the tone for the day, that at least I accomplished. And it's a silly little thing, making your bed. I know a lot of people don't. I make my bed every morning. My husband actually does. But I like a made bed, right? So that was one thing. It's funny. My niece came over the weekend with her boyfriend. We're hanging out, had dinner, and she started an exercise routine. And she does it at 5:30 in the morning. I was like, God bless you. I don't sleep well enough to be up at 5:30. But she said, you know what, Aunt Con, the funny thing is, she said, when I work out, the whole day seems to take on a different tempo, a different energy. I get different results, better results than when I skip it. So she said, I'm really committed to this because I feel so good, not only physically, but mentally. She says, what I get done in a day now is remarkable. So that's what we're talking about. That morning routine sets the pace and the tempo for the day. So yeah, I love it. I just love it. Shout out to my niece, Kayla, my goddaughter. She's a rock star.
But Connie, you just said something really incredibly powerful, and that is that not everybody is a morning person.
Yeah.
So just because we say morning, a morning could begin at 11 o'clock, a morning could begin at 10, it could begin at 4 a.m. It doesn't matter, right? A lot of people say get up early, the early bird gets... No, because we all have a different, system. And if it means that you get up at 11 o'clock or you start your morning or whatever, so, morning simply means how you start your day. The time of the day, in my opinion, doesn't matter, because we got to take into consideration the people that are night owls.
Absolutely.
Right? The people that hang out. Now, that's not me.
Not me.
You'll never get me past 9 p.m.
You're worse than me. I'm at least 10 p.m. But you're right. There's some people. I have a friend. She works at 12:30. That's when her genius kicks in. 12:30 in the morning. Like, oh my God, I'm dead at that hour, right? So that's very important. I think it's how you start your day. You're right. It's not the time of day that you start. Yeah, because I could never do 5:30. I know myself. So why would I set that as an expectation? I'd fail immediately. Then you feel crappy about yourself, right? Oh, I failed. I can't execute. I'm not good enough. And then the whole negative mantra record player starts playing. And then what's the point of that? It's just counterintuitive, right?
And that's beautiful, and that's powerful, right? So we want to make it just whatever the time is.
Yeah.
And especially, right? So you're wise and that wouldn't be setting yourself up for success. But for somebody that's out there and thinking, oh, well, in order to be successful, you have, because they always have these posts. To be successful, you start your morning, whatever. No, to be successful, you start your morning when is the right time for that person. Now, that doesn't mean you necessarily
give up the day.
Morning,
right?
But I'm just saying that some people are simply night owls, and so a morning can start at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, at whatever that is for that person. So giving yourself permission it's okay to start at 10, 11, and some people start at 5:30, right? That's what works for them.
Yeah.
So find what works for you and stick with it, be consistent with it.
That's it. That's the execution. The persistent, consistent gets the results. So you just have to commit to it, but it's got to work. Otherwise, you're not going to commit to it. So what's the point? And then we're in the death. I call that the death spiral, where we go nowhere and we feel crappy about ourselves. So that, don't do that. So there's tip number 1. See, right out of the gate, holy crap, we're so good. I want to shift to money, because really this is like one of my favorite conversations, and we all have money issues. But how can the money conversation that we listened to as a child now impact what's happening in our current financial picture?
Yeah, actually that's a great, and folks, that is definitely $100,000 question and answer, because when you become aware of it, right? And we all have the common ones. Money is evil. We have to work hard for your money. You have to struggle. Money comes in, money goes out. We can't afford that. Whatever it is that you listen to as a child, I invite you, one, identify what that was. And then two, how is that impacting your current financial picture, right? So if you heard you have to work hard for your money, are you finding yourself working 12, 14 hours a day, right? Connecting the dots. Because once you become aware of that, that's when you begin to make different choices. Awareness is key number one, right? Because then we can make it. So if you are finding yourself working those hours, or if you're finding yourself that you're spending, right? So you have, more month at the end than money. So then maybe you grow up thinking with the conversation of we don't have enough, right? So now as an adult, we want to make up for whatever it is that we believe we missed. Because sometimes, maybe we did miss, but sometimes it's just a belief, right? But also, this is it. This is incredibly powerful. The other thing is those beliefs that you have to work hard, the money's evil, whatever that was, those beliefs were gifted to us. Right? Those were not ours. We were kids. So it is time to give them back, right? Because they were gifts.
You're right.
They gave you an ugly set. We don't have to keep it. We can give it back, right? Giving ourselves permission. So now if the other question is going to be, well, how do we do that? I believe that one of the ways that you can do that is by writing a letter. Writing a letter to that situation or to that event, whatever that it was, right? For that person, having compassion. They passed on beliefs. They no longer serve you. You write a letter, you pour your heart into it, and then you burn the letter. Right?
I love it.
There's something magical about putting pen in, something about allowing those words to flow. Yeah. Right? It's a ritual, it's therapy.
It's release.
It's proven.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the key. It's identifying, writing a letter, and then let it go. Because it doesn't serve you. And think of it. If it's a gift, somebody's knocking at your door and they have low vibration, we don't have to let them in, right? We have a choice. We can choose not to hang out with people that are not in alignment. And also, I am very careful to say there's no blame, right? Everybody's on their journey. So it's just they're on a different journey, right? We're on different trains. We're going to different destinations. There's no guilt. There's no shame. It's just different destinations.
And this is such a fascinating topic. And you said so many cool things. First of all, our beliefs are there from when we're a kid, and you're a kid. So you're processing that information as a kid, not an adult who has logic and understands money and emotions to money and all of those things. So you have to tap into what is that kid belief and give back the gift. I love that visual. Like, yeah, it's an ugly sweater. Hey, thanks, but no thanks. That doesn't work for me. I'm going to give that back to you right now. So I love that it was a gift and we don't have to accept it. The other thing you said to me, Chella, that is so powerful is we have a choice. We have a choice every day with every decision, with everything we think. And when people say to me, I didn't have a choice, I look at them and say, really, you did, because here's the truth of the matter. You did have a choice. You chose to do nothing. And your answer to that is, I didn't have a choice. I was forced to do that. We're never forced to do anything. Somebody can't push you to do anything that you really don't want to do, right? So it's a choice. You made the choice of inaction, but own that then. Own it. I didn't want to make a decision for whatever reason. I own it, and I'm not going to do it. But own your choice. So I think that's important too. And the last thing you said that I laugh at is, through the years, I have fired clients and I have fired friends, meaning I just didn't want that business anymore for whatever reason. It didn't resonate. The company values didn't match mine. Well, I can't go and I can't teach in that kind of cesspool is what came to mind. That's disgusting. But that negative vibe of an organization, I can't work in that because that kills me. That kills my energy. And the firing friends. There are certain friends that they're wonderful, time and place. You grow out of them for whatever reason. You're on two different roads, and that's okay. I still love them, but I don't need them in my circle because they're just so toxic, through whatever their journey has been. So you have to diverge and, again, make a choice of who you hang out with. So all of that impacts our vibration, but it impacts our money choices too. Because then if you choose to do nothing, you're never going to deal with your money issues, right?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, that is fabulous. Right, but own up to it, right?
Own it.
If you're choosing nothing, take 100% responsibility. I'm choosing nothing, right? And this could be, yes, it's about money, but it's also on a daily basis. There's going to be times where you're going to choose to maybe just do nothing. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. Just own up to the fact, you know what? I'm doing nothing today.
Yep.
Right? There's no guilt. There's no shame. It's a choice, 100% responsible.
The guilt and shame, and I know you keep saying that, and it's true, Catholic girl here, that's how I was raised. And guilt is the cornerstone of most religions. And, my generation, we were children. You're to be seen and not heard. So this guilt, if you felt you had something to say, how dare you open your mouth? So guilt and shame is a lot of how we were raised. Now, do I blame my mom and dad? No, they didn't know any better because they were duplicating and they had their beliefs or hidden beliefs maybe on how they behaved that they didn't even know why they were doing and saying certain things from their parents and maybe grandparents. So we keep sharing the wealth of crap sometimes, and then sometimes we share the wealth of great ideas, but the crap comes with the good. So you have to be able to discern which is which. But I don't blame my parents anymore. I'm an adult. I have a choice, right? I could choose to say, woe's me, my mom and dad did to me, or I can just move on and say, I know why they did it. I love them. They didn't know any better, but I'm going to make different choices today.
Absolutely, right? And we do sometimes spend so much time, but also that's go back to responsibility, right? Because if we keep pointing the finger outside of us, we're not taking responsibility. And that's, we grew up, we did, but now I'm moving on. I'm just making a different choice.
That's right. And it could be about money.
Yeah.
I have another question now. So we're talking about making a choice to shift how I think of money, to go back and raise my awareness of where did that initial concept of money came, probably as a child. How can we work with that? And it's inside, it's the chatter, right? It's that negative mantra. Money doesn't grow on trees. You don't have enough money. You're always going to be poor. Work hard and maybe you'll make it, right? Whatever that mantra is for you. How do you quiet that, Chella?
You quiet that by doing writings, right? And then shifting it. I believe in the letter writing. And after we do that, and then it's when those thoughts come in, you can choose to shift that thought. So money does not grow on trees. We don't have money. Whatever the case may be, you can simply say, I'm the thinker of my thoughts, and I now choose. And you shift it, right? Does it take a while? Absolutely. Listen, you can't go to the gym and get a six-pack in 1 week, right? Think of this as that, right? We can't drop 20 pounds in 1 week. It's going to take time, but becoming aware of what the monkeys are telling you, becoming aware is the key, number one, because then you can choose to do something different. So when the chatter comes in and the thoughts, and it's a record player, right? Simply, you can choose to stop the record player. You can choose to go to a different room. You can, whatever it is. Sometimes to me, I find it much easier to simply shift location. When I first started doing this, jumping jacks, right? Because then you're concentrating on the jumping jacks. You're not concentrating on that. I've done pull-ups. I've done push-ups. I've done,
I like that.
Sometimes, right, just shifting or sometimes it's just walking into the kitchen and getting a snack, getting a tea, getting out there, going outside and putting my feet. It's all about making, now I understand if we're driving, that may not be an option to do these things. Great. Just keep thinking and move your attention. I'm the thinker of my thoughts. I choose to move my attention and start thinking about your dream vacation. Start thinking about the baby you're going to go see, or start thinking about nature, right? It's about getting, again, the train, where the train and the record player is going here. It's about shifting it to a different destination.
And you're the only one, and we're the only ones who have control of our head, of our chatter, of our thoughts. And I think the statistic goes something like we have, it's like 50,000 or 64,000 thoughts a day, something like that. 80% of them are negative. And then tomorrow, those same thoughts, right? We repeat 90% of the thoughts we have today, negative, we repeat them tomorrow. That's the chatter that you're talking about. So by understanding, and it starts with awareness. I like how you say that, right? Understand, I'm the thinker of my thoughts. I'm going to think about my vacation now. I am the thinker of my thoughts. I'm going to think about how lucky I am to drive this car. I am the thinker of my thoughts. I am so excited I did not hit a red light, right? Whatever it is, you can shift and change it on the spot to something very simple. I'm the thinker of my thoughts. I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts for a cup of coffee. Woohoo! Right? It could be anything that's simple. It's just shifting. But the awareness, you have to be aware of it to be able to shift it. And that takes practice. And I like the idea of writing down too, Chella. That's cool.
Yeah, that is definitely, and also by starting in the morning, we started with the morning routine. What if you start writing down 5 things you're grateful for?
I love
Now,
that.
I got to tell you, one of the things that, and I know we take it for granted, but is being able to go and have clean water.
Yeah.
I know I honestly did until I started doing this coaching program that I'm doing. I didn't think about how many people don't have clean water, right? And it's about being grateful that I have this water that I'm able to go and pick up. I don't have to go walk 3 miles to go get clean water,
Sure.
right? Starting by making a list of all the things that we do have. Because when you begin to really, and that list is going to keep growing, right? You have friends, you have family, you have so much. But when you begin to stay, then that helps the chatter get, again, because you have this long list of things that you have.
Yeah.
It's easier to quiet the mind. It's easier and it's also easier for us to shift. I have clean water. I can take a shower. I have clothes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these things, but just start make a list of all the things that you have and which you are grateful for.
And it's funny. I end my day and I start my day doing that. I do my it's my prayers. I don't say like prayers like, Hail Mary, full of grace. I sit there and my mantra is all the things I'm grateful for that day. Some are repeated, a lot are repeated. My kids, my parents are still alive. My husband is an amazing man, right? So you're grateful. I cherish those things. But sometimes it's like, I really needed that cup of coffee this morning. It tasted so extra good. So it could be something as simple as that. Or, you know what? It was supposed to rain and it didn't. The sun was shining. Oh, what a great day. Or, in New Jersey, it's getting chilly. It was 70 degrees, right? So whatever it is, it could be simple, stupid little things, but I end my day with all of the things I was grateful for. It's a pretty long list. And then I wake up in the morning. What am I grateful for today? Number one, I have a new beautiful day in front of me. My chapter's unwritten. What am I going to write in it today? Right? So it's all of that creation. You create your future. So I am all about gratitude. And it's funny, whenever I do yoga, a lot of times the instructor will say, what is your, what's the word that she uses? What's the mantra? What's the,
Intention?
Say it again?
Intention?
The intention. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. For me, it's always, oh my God, I am so grateful. That's where I always come from. When they set an intention, it's always gratitude for me. Isn't that funny? So yeah, gratitude is a powerful thing. So next piece of the puzzle, right? Making aware, consciously changing, right? I am the thinker of my thoughts. That helps with our money. That helps with our negativity, right? Making choices, owning it. Does that help? You keep mentioning energy, right? You and I have a great energy together. I feel it. I embrace it. I love it. I feel good when I'm around you, right? There's an energy connection. Using some of these tools, can we literally shift our vibrational and energetic level?
Absolutely. And we're going to give your listeners the other tip. And the other tip is that just by doing that is going to begin to shift, but we want to put a little extra fire, right? We're going to put the little turbo into this.
Love it.
And the turbo is, how are you treating money, right? Are you treating money like you're not enough, you're not around? How are you talking to money? And inviting money to come in. And yes, you're one step ahead of me. We're going to write a letter to money. We're going to write a letter to money, inviting money into our lives. right? Inviting them to show up, inviting them to come in and visit us. Because we all do this, right? If you have a friend and they keep telling you that you're never enough, that you're not around, you don't spend enough time with me, would that person stay?
No.
No, right? So we want to think about money as a person, whatever you want to think, but how are we treating it? And are we inviting it, right? Are we being grateful? When we go pay our monthly obligations, are we saying, I am so grateful I have the funds to do this? Or are we saying, oh no, is that time of the month again where I need to pay bills? What energy are you bringing it to it?
That's wonderful.
Right? Because all of these things are going to help you so that you're opening the doors. You're putting out the welcome sign for money to show up in your life. And it will show up in many different ways, right? In unexpected ways.
Give me an example. I'm going to sit down. People are listening and saying, oh, I kind of like that idea. I get the idea. Write a letter, welcome money in. Give me an example of some phraseology. Because some people get the creative juices. When you give an idea, they go, ooh, I could then add whatever it is for them. Can you give me an example? I sit to write. Yep.
Dear money, I know it's been a long time since we've been together. Right, whatever it is, and I invite you to come back in. I cannot wait to see you. I am always so grateful when you're around. We have such an amazing time together. I love hanging out with you. I appreciate you. Just treat it like a friend. Treat it like that dear friend, let's be honest, that you haven't seen in 6 months. And I'm not saying you haven't seen money in 6 months, but you're building a different relationship with money. Right? And you can make as many letters as you want from this.
I love it.
And because then that's opening the space. I think of it as making a red carpet. You're putting out a red carpet for money to show up. We've all seen the Grammy Awards and all of that, right? Putting out the red carpet so that money feels welcome. We're inviting it to show up. And I guarantee you, money will show up.
Yeah. And we say to our friends, next time, my door is always open. Say the same thing to money. Money, my door is always open. Knock on the door and walk on in. My door is unlocked for you, right? I am open to seeing you. We'd be so excited if you could come and sleep over, right? As silly as that sounds, but my door is always open. You are always welcome. I am opening arms for you to come in and join us and play with us and live with us and love with us, right? That's really what we're saying.
Absolutely.
I love it. I just love that. And here's a cool thing. I don't know if you've done this, Chella, but like at night when I do my gratitude, is that something that to even reinforce it more than writing the note, to just, as you're doing your things of grateful, you could say, money, don't forget, my door's always open. I'm waiting for you. Come and visit. Can you make that part of your thoughts? Go ahead, read it. I can't read that.
I have a Post-it right at my desk on my computer, just in case. Right underneath my computer, I have the Post-its. I actually have various Post-its, just to remind myself, right? So as I'm sitting here, or if I'm in a webinar or whatever, I have it, and I actually have them in my bathroom. I have them all over, right? Because when you see that, it's just that constant reminder, right? We're shifting our attention to that, right? We're just making it so that it's easier, because we all get busy, right? And sometimes, so just having little Post-its all around.
And then reading them randomly, you're saying?
Reading them, yeah. When you happen to be stepping into that, you can put one in the refrigerator, whatever. Your closet. I like the closet, right? Because when you go in, right, it's a nice, pleasant surprise. And I use very colorful Post-its, right? So you can't miss it.
You're adorable.
Colors doesn't work for you, whatever works for you, right? But I like that it's just, it's like a pleasant surprise.
And, it's so funny because they become your mantra, right? Hi, money. So glad you showed up today. So good seeing you. Then the next Post-it is, I'm excited to be alive. The next Post-it in the morning on your bathroom door. I have another unwritten day. What is my chapter going to look like today? Whatever it is for you. So I like that. So here's the thing. Friends come over and they see Post-it notes. They go, are you senile? Right?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I also like the ones in the closet, because for some reason, opening in those doors,
yeah,
it's that the surprise.
Yeah, I
Or
love
it's
it.
like your medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
Like you go in to grab something, you know what I mean? It's like you forget it that they're there. So when you open it, it's like you're surprising yourself. It's like you're giving yourself a gift.
I love it. And something like this, people who feel like as we age, right? Oh, I'm not as cute as I was when I was younger. So when you open the medicine cabinet to pull out your moisturizer or guys, your contact lenses, whatever it is, you could put, "Hi, beautiful." Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
"Hi, you foxy mama."
What if we give ourselves those compliments? You know what I mean? And it's just a little posty, but that's a good way to, again,
I love it.
keep the chatter, right?
Yeah.
It's keeping those monkeys so that we're reducing them from 60,000 to, closer to 10,000.
Yeah. And here's another question. So all of these little tips we're talking about energy, our relationship with money, really our relationship with ourselves, raising awareness, making choices, owning those choices, whatever they are, own it. It doesn't matter. The vibrational change, does that take on a life of its own? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it totally does, right? Whatever your attention is, that's where you're going to get more of. But we do this unconsciously, right? Because sometimes we don't realize that we're doing, and those are the thoughts that come in.
Yeah.
But the more that we become aware of this, and the more, I call it going from the kiddie swimming pool, into the adult. So we're going from the 3 feet to the 12 feet.
Right.
Right? So when you're in the 3 feet, that is comfortable, and it's safe. But when you move into the 12 feet, you're more expansive.
Yeah.
Right? We are creating, our money container is becoming larger when we do this. That's all you're doing. By doing all these things, you're expanding your money container. So when you have a larger money container, that means that you're able to bring in or take in and receive more abundance. Not just money. I like to think of abundance, right? Because sometimes, like over the weekend, somebody gifted me a ticket to an event. I wrote it on my grateful, right? Because one, that is great. The amount doesn't matter, right? But becoming aware of when people are doing things, right? This weekend was a really great weekend. Now that I think about it, I had a friend stop by and drop off some persimmons, the last of the persimmons for the year. I'm going to just, I put a limit of, I cannot eat more than 3 a day.
So cute.
Because I want you to save them, right? But I could just eat persimmons, right? But also becoming aware of those things, right? Becoming aware, he also brought in lunches for 6 days. Homemade lunches for 6 days. Homemade, right? Oh my God. So I'm just beyond. So becoming aware of all of the things that are showing up in your life. It may not just be money, although money is a fact, right? So I would encourage the listeners to see if you can go out and see if you can find a meter with money left over, right? Especially now. Can you find a meter? Can you find that rock star parking, right? Because that's huge, right? And then also, can you give? Can you smile at somebody? Can you wish somebody a great day, right? You want to be able to start giving more of what you want to receive.
Yeah.
And I know not everybody can go out right now, but just even being gracious and having that courtesy for others, part of the game.
It's so simple, right? Being kind. It's as simple as smiling, holding a door for someone. When you're driving and someone's trying to get in on the merge, let them in. Like, why do you have to? Because that second that you're in front of them is making such a big difference in your life. I mean, it's such, and Chella, here's the thing I love. We're talking about ridiculously simple things that we can do, simple things that we can think about, like taking your shower in the morning, right? That we have clean running water, if you're lucky enough to have that, right? Having that Keurig on my counter where I can have my different flavored coffees different every day if I want, right? Pop it in and I'm ready to rock and roll. It's the little things that we take for granted. And I think that's the easy shift to start thinking about all of the little things you have from a gratitude standpoint, and then the things that you become grateful for become bigger, and then you're opening your container. I love that visual. I'm a visual learner. Opening your container so more money can flow in, more abundance can find you. And abundance is again just not always money. Abundance is you get more love in your life. Abundance is people go out of their way to do things for you. Abundance is getting that email of, hey, I was thinking about you, just thinking about you and your family, sending you some love. That feels great, right? It doesn't have to be a monetary reward. It's just an abundance of awareness that look at all these good things that are happening to me. And it's actually pretty easy to do. You just have to be aware. And then I am the thinker of my thoughts. And then what are you grateful for? It is simple. You just have to practice it. It's like anything else. It's a muscle memory, right?
Right. And when you begin to practice, the magic about that, and the reason I like to start in setting the foundation on that, is when you begin to be grateful for those things, then the universe keeps sending you, God, whoever you believe, they keep sending more of that. We're going for the feeling. I know we're going to use the F word here. We're going for the feeling, right? Because not everybody's into the feeling thing.
Yep.
So I like to say, but they get into the feeling. So when the universe will continue to send God, whoever, things that are going to bring you those emotions.
Yeah. We're emotional beings, though. That's a good thing. Right? Instead of hiding it, write it down. Sit in your car and do your mantra out loud. I am so freaking lucky. I didn't hit traffic today. Ooh, look at the sun shining. I am one lucky person. Holy crap, I get everything I want. Whatever, talk to yourself. That's another way. The verbal, our words, written words, verbal words, things our thoughts all have a vibrational energy. Money is nothing more than energy, right? It's an exchange of money. I teach, I get paid for that, right? They're grateful that I'm teaching them. I'm grateful that they're listening, and I'm grateful that I get paid for that, right? It's all about gratitude and abundance go together. We're out of time. So I know it goes so fast, Chella. So here, guys, I know I always say you need more Chella, but before we talked, people are saying you need to be Chellafied. So you need to be Chellafied, baby. You can email Chella directly at moneymap101@gmail.com. Go to her website, which is Chella Diaz. So it's CHELLADIAZ.com. Again, email her directly, moneymap101@gmail.com. So get Chella-sized. If you need be Connie-sized, that doesn't sound right. But if you need a little more Connie in your life, right?
Can be conified.
Conified. You want to get conified? I'm going to use that, Chella. Check out my website at whitmanassoc.com, WHITMANASSOC.com. Everything is there, guys. My book, my classes, free resources, my podcast, where I've been guests on podcasts. It's all housed in one place, easy peasy for you to find, whitmanassoc.com. And of course, there's even a contact there if you need to reach me. I will post all of the links for you guys on the show notes so that you could find Chella and you could find Connie to get Chellafied and Conified. I love it. Chella, thank you for being on. This is such an important conversation because here's the deal, guys. We really do need money to create the life we want, but we need money to be able to serve others and donate and give philanthropically, and sharing our abundance with others is a piece of the puzzle as well. So this is an important conversation. Hopefully you use some of the tips that Chella shared and some of the explanations and use it today. Don't wait. Use it today on your way home if you're still commuting, or take a moment after listening to the show and just be mindful. List 5 things that you're grateful for. It could be as simple as that. And I'm loving the sticky notes. My husband is going to think I lost my mind because I'm going to have on the medicine cabinet, "Hello, beautiful." Thank you, Chella, for being on. Taking the time to be
an honor, and to your listeners, go out there and take one action that's going to help you move the needle.
Yeah, one action, guys. That's all we're asking for. I hope today inspired you, and I hope you will join me weekly as we question, build, and discover that no matter what change you're going through, money, sales, that we're changing the definition of these things so that you embrace them on a higher level and make choices as to what changes you choose. You are the thinker of your thoughts. figure that out, right? Figure whatever that next step is. Chella, thank you again. I just love your energy. I love hanging out with you. Excellent show. Thank you for sharing your tips with my listeners.
It's an honor.
I always love seeing you, sister. You've been listening to the Heartfelt Sales Leader podcast with me, your heartfelt sales leader and host, Connie Whitman, on webtalkradio.net. Thank you, everyone. And I really do wish you an inspired week where you're open your mind to what is possible and what does that mean to you. Think about that today. And again, put those ideas and tips into place. See the changes that are possible. And I thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful week, everyone.